Alright, so now we come to the mixing stage of the dough. And the first stage that you're going to do is very, very straightforward. It's called Autolyse. And what Autolyse does is you just mix the liquid ingredients, so the water, with the flour together, and you just let it rest for an hour. And what this does is the water will hydrate the starch in the flour, and it'll start to swell. And as it swells, the gluten structure will start to develop. So what this means is that it's really, really going to help you to create a really open crumb structure, and it will help create structure in the actual dough itself without you having to do anything. You just have to let it relax. So inside this bowl I've got 930 grams of flour, and in the bowl I've got almost all of the water. Not quite, so there's 650 grams here, and I've left 50 grams in another bowl, and all I'm going to do is mix these two together, and the water is warm. Okay, just measure the temperature with my hand. Use your trusty spoon again, and then give it a mix. And the reason I don't put my hands in here and mix it is not because I'm worried about getting, dough on my hands or anything like that. It's just at this stage, if you do that, you'll get like a big monster flour hand, and then you have to spend 5 minutes at the sink scrubbing your hand off, getting all the flour off your hand and all that kind of stuff, and then you have to spend another 5 minutes getting it out of the sink, which is just, to be honest with you, a bit of a pain in the arse. And there's plenty of clearing up to do in the kitchen. So you don't need to give yourself more to do. So what we're doing is just gently going round, collecting up all the dry parts of the dough, mixing it with the water and allowing it to mix in. In baking, this sort of texture is what we call a shaggy mass. So if you hear someone saying, right, so mix the dough to a shaggy mass and then leave it, this is exactly what they're talking about. Okay, and then they'll say, usually after that you'll hear the terminology, allow the mixture or the dough to autolyse, and that's obviously what I just explained earlier. So once you get to this stage here, really useful if you use a plastic scraper, and you can just scrape down the spoon, just catch that little bit of dough, flour at the bottom there, like that is all fine. And then the bits around the side, scrape them down, and then you can let this dough rest for at least an hour. Don't worry too much if you leave it to rest for an hour and a half, or even up to 2 hours. But whatever you do, don't skip this stage, because the autolyse stage really, really helps the dough. And when you do the stretch and folds that come later on, it's so much easier. And that's it.